dropped a few hints. I don't know if you guys picked up on those. Like that short the other day where I had the solo stove going, the fire pit, and I was wearing a pair of Trumans, but where I had the little word Truman kind of pop up. I don't know if that was a little too random. But if you participated in the poll I posted the other week, I said I got another pair of boots, and it only lets you put 4 options. Figured you guys would all pick Nick's, and last time I checked it, I think it was a third at Nick's. So I think that was just sort of based off my previous appetite and kind of boot buying ridiculousness. But no, it wasn't Nick's. I'm kind of over the lead times, and maybe I'll make a video another time about some kind of concerns I've landed on. I love my pairs, but I have plenty. Yeah, so I ended up getting another pair of Trumans. You saw my other video on the 79 that I sold. They were the wrong size, but really I don't love that last. It's just kind of a little too standard, dressy, flat toe. I've never been into that. Anyway, so I grabbed these. See the box? 20 last again. Same size, 11.5D. My first pair of Trumans from, when was that? Summer 2022. I think I bought them at the beginning of summer. It was not an MTO, but it was like a pre-order. I think I did them in May 2022, and then I received them in the heart of the summer, July, I think, 2022, when it was hot as hell. So I couldn't really wear them. Sorry, not 2022, 2023. Sorry, I'm forgetting what year we're in. We're in 2024. We're about to go to 2025, though. So yeah, this was all 2023. So I think May 2023, I ordered them when they dropped it, and then I got them in, I think, July. I did get to wear them, the following winter, and then I was wearing them again more recently, a few more times, and I realized this is not the perfect last for me, but it's a good fit. I kind of prefer the 67 over this, but it's kind of give and take, because I don't know, the 67 is weird. It's like it's a better fit in the midfoot. It really hugs your arch and the arch support. It feels really good here. But then the big toe, I feel like the 67 honestly pushes my big toe slightly more than these, and it's really just my right foot that always hates everything. But then the 67, I don't really ever have issues with my little toe being pushed on my right foot. Again, it's just the right foot. This last possibly pushes my pinky toe a little bit more, and then this last has the better heel. There's nothing wrong with the heel fit on the 67, but this 20 last really, it's like a Viberg in that regard. It like really holds your heel. Like there's no movement at all, and that's great. But I'm based off how I've felt the other pair of 20 last fit, I really feel like going up to a 12 would not be superior, and I even based that off of what I experienced with the Parkhurst 602M, which I do need to do a video on. But basically that last, I originally bought it in an 11.5D, or no, sorry, I think it's considered an E width boot, 11.5E, and it just felt way too long and like just too much space in front of my toe, and I didn't like it. It felt wrong. So I went down to 11 on that boot, and sure, it ends up pushing my big toe slightly, my right foot, and pushing my pinky of my right foot a little bit, but it still feels like the better fit, and they don't make any other widths, and I don't think a wider fit would. I think I just have my right foot is just super sensitive, and strangely, the toes are wide for the rest of it. And these leathers are softer, so I think that's why I always loved my 67 Nicks in the natural Dublin, because it gives more. The heritage leathers like this will give more, and I think that's why I have problems with that Max Support black pair, because it's such a stiff, thick leather. It doesn't give, and it just won't break in that sense. It won't push out. So this is kind of a few things I was looking for. The main thing is this Moc Toe. You may have caught me talking about this again, but I really kind of miss that Red Wing 875 I bought briefly in that, whatever that Oro Legacy, that orange leather. Aesthetically, that's an amazing boot. It's just the fit was not right at all for me. That's a narrow last, and I mean, it was just an awful fit, and then the build quality of Red Wing is kind of garbage, and the quality control. You probably saw that short I posted a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. It's been a while, but anyway, the Moc Toes on them were not even at all. They looked like two different boots. They were a disaster. That was actually the first thing I checked with these out of the box, and I have worn these a little bit, but first thing I did was take them out and look at the Moc Toes, and obviously they're not perfect, but they're like at a glance they look the same, whereas those Red Wings didn't look at all the same. I know these are, I mean, everyone goes, oh, it's a machine made versus, handmade. Watch these videos from the P&W brands. I mean, it's a person running a sewing machine stitching the panels together. I'm pretty certain that's the same thing that Truman does. The difference with Truman is they have more automation, as far as I think they have a CAD machine I saw to cut the leather, or some of the leathers. Maybe I think they still have to use the punch or whatever, the clicker machine on some leathers, and then they machine last these, and then obviously do the Goodyear welt. But I'm pretty sure it's still a human operating a sewing machine. That Moc Toe stitching is pretty nice. And I do see occasionally they'll have seconds listed that talk about it being uneven Moc Toe stitching, where they don't match. So clearly they're paying attention. There are some, it's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Still way better than I've seen with whites. But if you look at the welt stitching on the toes, this kind of reminds me of whites, where one of them has a lot closer stitching than the other. It's just like, they ran the machine a little quicker as they carved around it. Whites, the pairs I owned were all awful with that. They were really uneven. I don't know what their issue is with that. I've had the pair where they overlapped the two stitch down rows. Just White's quality control just seems to be the worst. Nick's was always way better in my experience. I know they're not perfect. And Frank's seemed really good too, based off some of the pairs I've seen. I've only owned one pair, but Moc Toe, kind of went off track there, was something I really wanted, and then I really wanted to try this, what they call heavy lug sole. So it's kind of neat. They made them themselves, and so they put their logo in it, and that's pretty cool. I really like the V100, especially the honey lug, and it's just undeniably comfortable. The lugs kind of give you a spring because they can compress and move around compared to something like a V-bar or 430, and they obviously have really good grip in the dirt. They obviously can bring in dirt and rocks, so there's some downsides, but the comfort's just really good. The honey one is just amazing, and it just looks really cool. I like their Commando. I like how it has the pretty big lugs on the inside, and then it's kind of normal looking on the outside. That was something that you never see with Nick's or Whites or anybody. They don't really have that style of sole, but this is something I want to try. And then, because I always like, light tans, the light tan leather is my vibe. The Sesame double shot looked really cool. It's like, it kind of makes me think of natural Dublin after it's been worn and exposed to sun and kind of oranged up a little bit, like the pair I have from my first pair of Nicks that you saw my other videos on. Obviously, it's not that orange, but it's way more saturated and rich of a color compared to Natural Cypress or Natural Chrome XL. There's a lot more color to this. This is a really cool color. And, truth be told, the double shot pairs of whites I've had, so I had the C350 Cruiser, and then I bought a C350 Cutter, also British tan double shot, same color. But that double shot leather, it's just super supple, and it's just silly, but it smells really freaking good. And these, it's the same thing. They smell awesome. They actually honestly remind me a lot of what White's was selling as natural double shot, and it's very similar to this. Might just be slightly lighter, or it's a marketing thing. Who is it? Grant Stone sells natural Chrome XL as Dune Chrome XL. Maybe Truman's calling natural double shot Sesame, but it's a cool name. It does kind of work. those are the main reasons I wanted these, and they were out of stock. So I kind of was looking at them when they dropped it, and I saw the email, but they sold out the same day. So I think I got the email from them in the morning, and I was kind of looking at them online while working, and then went and looked at it later, and they were sold out of 11 and a half. So I was like, well, snooze or lose, whatever. I'll just put the little, notify me if they ever come back in stock. I don't really know how Truman does, like if they rerun a leather or something. And then I'm like, well, I'll just throw my name out there. I don't have to buy them or whatever. And kind of thought I would never hear back. And then I got an email and they had it in stock. I'm like, I'm not going to sleep on this again. I bought them and then immediately go out of stock again, which made me think, you know what, this is a customer return, like a sizing fitment issue. And sure enough, I stuck my phone with the flash on in both boots, and you could see a slight toe prints on this boot. Not really on the right boot, so maybe the guy put on his left boot and was like, this is the wrong size. So this was as, a customer return. So I guess if they get a boot back and it's, kind of not damaged, not worn, then they just kind of wipe it down or whatever and ship it off, which is fine. They weren't worn. The soles looked brand new. They didn't show any marking at all, not even little fibers from carpet. So, whatever. The guy must have put them on for like a second. Typical Truman unboxing. Maybe I'll throw up a quick little clip here or something. But they wrap them in the paper. That helps. It's not perfect. There are a couple little nicks. This is going to be a very prone to marking type of leather, but that's fine. At least they wrap them. Plastic, I think, would probably be the best. At least they wrap them up in tissue to prevent some damage. It's still a better job than the P&W brands do. Nicks is okay, but I realize they don't even put paper in between their boots. They just wrap them around. So they're kind of going to bump into each other. And then Whites does the same thing with even thinner tissue, and every pair of Whites that I bought from Whites, which I should admit is just two different pairs, but the two out of two when I bought from them, they came all dinged up. So brands should try harder, and I think Truman is kind of doing a little bit better there with wrapping them in the tissue paper. It's just stupid to you spend, these were a little under $400 with the loyalty, which I'll pop up if I took a screenshot of it, but the loyalty is a reason why I got into this. When you pay that much, or it's even less inexcusable with brands from the P&W, the P&W stuff, where you're paying $500, $600, $700 for a pair of boots, and they arrive all dinged up. This isn't like all Seidel rough out work boots where you're going to trash them. A lot of the stuff they're selling, a lot of people are buying Wicked and Craig, expensive stuff. You would like to get the boot in great shape when it arrives, and then you do your own patina on it as you wear it, and it has the experience. The fact that they just ship it to you and they ding it up is just stupid. Cheers.